Eric,
What's
what's up,
up?
Eric Caldwell?
What's going on,
What's
Kool
up?
Keith?
Yeah, what's going down? Yeah,
Not much, man. Getting all set for
yeah,
you
uh huh,
and everything.
yeah, uh huh. I'm on deck.
All right. Just getting these levels right.
I used to come up 95, spending Georgia nights. Miami Mike, coming 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 up 95, spending Georgia nights. Miami Mike. Tampa, Florida with the sky blue Bugatti. Your girl say I'm cinematic. Notice how she wanna booty practice. The direction I give her boost her status. In the STS Cadillac, your mom call me Travis. Your sister push my baby carriage. The phantom peach color like carrots. Your aunt begging me to get married. I pay your
Lower,
wife a nice
Okay.
salary.
another lady rapper, and a guy, poet, a poem person, so there's so many other talents in the audience. So it's like the audience gave up being an audience. They ended up. That's what's harder now. Like your audience is really like a bunch of musicians looking at you like I can do what you do or do it even better. So you really performing for a lot of other performers now. So it's not like you going to entertain a raw crowd anymore. It's very
It's so
it's very limit of what that is left. Like
so.
you're actually entertaining
Huh.
you actually entertaining competition.
So like in the '80s, like we were saying, just a second ago, that the energy is being taken. The energy was there because it's Keith Ultra on stage, and you didn't have any device other than your brain to record the
Hmm.
memories. And
Yeah.
so now in the '90s, everybody got the cameras, and then now also, like you're saying, is that you're performing more to performers than fans.
Yes. Like your audience became competitive as just as
How did
you
that?
know. Your audience make beats. Your audience is rapping. Your audience is so. I mean, like you said, that's the new times, but it's an adjustment to that.
So are they coming to the shows in the sense to not necessarily to take in the show, but to hopefully get backstage or meet the performer so they could perform for the performer?
Or really offered it. But I think there are some. If you're a strong artist like myself,
Mm-hmm.
if you're a strong artist, you still have a fan because, like you said, people are still there as a fan because they can't conquer what you do, which is very hard. But some people have a set mind that they can do something better than you also, but you
Yeah.
still are powerful enough to say that
Mm-hmm.
I am still a fan of this person. I just do what he does, but he still does it better. So, I'm still going to sit back and observe this person, but you do have that too, like, cause that's, they're looking up to what you do, but they haven't really mastered what you do yet. But it is good that you can conquer that. Not many can do that. Not many can do
Yeah.
that at all.
So are you still fans of any MCs in the game?
I wouldn't say fan. I analyze or I go to the show or check out somebody perform. But
Okay. But
I mean, any artist you can, all artists. It's like the NBA. When you play in the NBA, you
mhm,
can learn from playing different basketball players, different things. Like, it's same as rap. You
mhm,
can learn from anybody. You can learn from anybody different things. Different rhythms, different sounds,
mhm.
different production to get on, and how that person might have rolled the beat and what you could do with it. And it's still points to learn from, whereas a lot of the people that were so-called call themselves legends and stuff, I think that they had got mixed up into being that they say, well, they already a legend or they the best, and they feel like they shouldn't really listen to like the next competition coming up or nothing. Like, you know, any other sport studies other things, like baseball teams study other baseball teams, and football study the plays. The Buffalo Bills look at the Kansas City Chiefs plays, and it's always has been. But in rap, you know, you get like a lot of these guys that maybe put in a few years, they feel like, well, I ain't got to pay no mind to the next kid or something like that. I'm stuck on me being, people looking up to me as I'm on the throne, the legend of this, you know, and they forget like the cadences and looking at styles, and then what happens is that you start to sound like old and stuff and outdated, and then you start to lose because you're not in the mix of nothing, like, you know, and that happens all across the board into your whole aura of your music. You start, you know, your beat selection and all that start to become unfinessed and everything. So it's like you're doing, like, you're being so selfish that you like not taking time to see what's going on.
Yeah. So even before you put it down on wax, guys like Cass, what made Cass one of the benchmarks as people like to look up to?
Well,
what did you take from Cass?
Well, to me, Cass was like a good writer for people, and then he could do a track himself, and you know, I think the versatility of Cass was good for himself. Like, you know, like just the fact that, you know, he could write for somebody and he could do it. You know, he could do his own songs, and you know, that's the versatility of him. And plus, he was probably more observant of what's going on as opposed to another artist that might have felt like they're on a high pedestal and they're not, you know, they're not worthy of listening to another rapper that's out right now, or a rapper that's hot. You know, you can learn something from anybody. You can take something from a rookie that don't know what he's doing, and you're saying, okay, this is what he's trying to do. I'm gonna do this in a masterful way. So that's another thing also.
And just show him the style, show him how to finesse it, show him the freak.
Yeah. Like sometimes, you know, you could tell an artist can develop into, you know, it was like I was watching, like, I seen a picture of like Tatum from the Celtics when he was like 14 years old with LeBron, like a picture. But LeBron was older, but now he's on the court playing ball like with the Celtics, really, you know, really competitive, you know, and giving LeBron problems. So I'm saying rap is like a growth too, like, but it's funny though, you can be a person people look up to, but people after a while they'll still try to feel like I can bust your ass. But that's the point you have to always remember. Like, these people are trying to take your spot regardless. Like, they're trying to take your spot, you know, vocally, lyrically, whatever. Still, you know, they might look up and say, oh, yeah, he put in time and he did this and that. But you still got people ready to take your spot. And it doesn't matter what age. The point, for your point, you got to always remember, like, well, I got to keep myself polished. I gotta, you know, stay sharp. I gotta study cadences, style, you know, all that, and you know, practice is good. Vocal practice. That's why I go to studio a lot to, you know, keep your vocals fluent, because your vocals can stiffen up on you, and then you get a stiff sound. So it's good. Recording is definitely healthy because you're keeping, you know, the tongue acrobatics going, which is a form of practice. It's just like you playing tennis back and forth. It's still you getting the rhythm, keeping your rhythm, the cadence rhythm. And what happens, I think a lot of the peer artists at certain times, they took a time to like a long time off, and then the beats started changing, and a lot of the beats got more different, which I have noticed. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of beats now are more challenging. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's just the drums and the way they program, and
Okay.
it's not like back before it was in a 1-2, like boom, boom, boom,
Right.
That's what they was looking for.
So now it's
That boom,
more
boom.
scattered and
It's all kinds.
chaotic. Yeah.
Yeah, chaotic, or the hi hats are rolling differently.
Mhm.
You know, the whole you know, the way some of the beats are rock, they rock more like, you know, they all got all different kinds of whatever leads them tracks. Sometimes the bells lead the track. You know, like
Right.
I recently did a track called Spray Mine. You know, Angel. You know,
Mhm.
Angel
Okay.
is like a whole different rhythm. You know, so you can't rap on it like the normal way you would rap on any other song. It has to be like, you have to take your time and like figure out the cadence or the pattern for the song, because it's like, you know, you get beats, they don't all some beats don't automatically match
The
the cadences that you normally use.
right, right, and if you ain't prepared to change it up, or to be agile on those tracks, they gonna take you under.
Yeah, well, you gonna sound real fucked up and weird, and they gonna be like, you know,
That
what
ain't.
happened? Like,
Yeah.
this track wasn't for him, and
Hmm.
so, but what happens is, like you said, a lot of dudes don't like take them challenges. They just be like, well, I'm gonna pass and wait for an easier track. It's just like math. I don't want to sit up all night and try to solve this problem. Take
Hmm.
me back to take me back to 1 + 1 = 2, and then it's like, you know, I don't want to deal with this algebra shit. You know, that's the way the music is.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the beats is like algebra to a lot of these motherfuckers. So it's like they don't want to.
Right. Or,
They don't want to like sit down and like
and figure it
figure it
out.
out. Like, you know,
They need
what
a
cadence go to this.
tutor.
Yeah, they need a tutor. So they need a fucking tutor. So they can't really get on them tracks. And what they do is, they make excuses and stuff. Like, they'll say, oh, you know, they'll make all kinds of excuses, like, oh, this ain't I wouldn't do that one. I ain't do that. That's not
Yeah.
what it is. You know, go back to that old raw. You know, but that ain't the point. Is that, you know, just man up and say, you know, I couldn't handle that shit.
Right.
That's some other shit. Like,
And that
but
ego won't let them.
yeah, or listen to a pro person. You
Hmm.
know, a professional
Yeah.
handle that, and be like, well, that's the way you do it. But, you know, and every track ain't for everybody either.
Yeah.
It's like it's a million beats, and it's a million beats out, and it's a million beats a lot of motherfuckers can't handle, and it's a million beats out people can handle. So people take less of a aggression to try to work out some of those beats, but they
Yeah.
go more or less to the beats they were in. It's called a comfort zone. Like, they have the comfort
Yes,
zone where they
indeed.
stuck in that time. So they, you know, and then they get their cadence used to a certain style all the time and a certain beat. So that becomes like the cadence, and then you don't realize that's the same beats that they unaware of using. So they start using like the cadence all the time. So that's why it's good to practice on transition and changing beats and stuff, which they never do. Like, if you did a program and you took like
Hmm.
a lot of artists and put them in a box in a room, and started throwing beats at different artists,
Uh-huh.
that would just totally off the rabbit hat. Like, say you throw rabbit hat beats at everybody, it would fuck you up. You would laugh so hard, man. You would be like, damn. Like, you could tell, like, you can have artists really switched up, because that fucks up their rhythm, because they don't. A lot of artists rap on particular tempos a
Yeah.
lot. So if you threw like slow BPMs under them,
Hmm.
it will fuck them up. If you threw fast BPMs under them, it will fuck them up. Like, you know, it takes like one way of drums to roll, and you will
Yeah.
you would totally laugh your ass off, because you would
Yeah.
see, like, you would see you could see the flaws. Like you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like he can't really rap on
This.
this BPM. He can't get on that BPM and feel comfortable at it. So, you know, you got very few artists that can rap on all
Yeah, and that's
for years.
yeah, yeah, you're right, because you only have these certain masterclass MCs who could do that. You know, now that you're talking about it, I think about it. You know, you have a
Hmm.
like a wise intelligent could switch up his flow like
Yeah.
from the old style. He could ride on these new rhythms. You, um, a couple other people. You know,
Hmm.
and you know, as a listener, yeah, I understand what you're saying, because sometimes you listen to, you know, your favorite artists and they come in with something new and it's like, that
Hmm.
track is
Yeah.
handling them.
Yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. Well, you hear it in times, you know, musically. It's like, you know, it was a few people that you said could make rap on fast, slow,
Hmm.
medium, fast, all kinds of tempos, but you don't find too many that rap either they rapping slow or they rapping fast. So it's
Right.
like you like it's only one of the two. You don't find too many like they do it all. Like well, they do fast and slow, and that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and you know, stepping up and down that spectrum of the tempos.
Yeah,
You know.
I like that when you hear artists that take you more like
Hmm.
they albums like you can hear all the transitions or the BPMs. Like you're like, okay, they do that. They
Hmm.
can do that. They could go on a boom bap. They can come
Hmm.
back on some shit
Yeah.
like 135, and you know,
Right.
but you don't hear that no more. You don't hear that. Like either you slow or you just fast. You know.
Yeah, because it reminded a couple of months ago. Like I said, me and my wife was out and we seen Chino XL,
Mhm.
and he was talking about, you know, that song he had did with KRS for the Wake Up Show.
Uh huh.
And he says, you know, he came in and did his part, and then, you know, here come Chris, and he said, you know, Chris said, you know, watch this, young man, and went in and did his thing. And it was like,
Right.
it was a challenge, but it wasn't a diss. You understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
it's that
Like you trying to
the
show
competitiveness.
him. Like yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, do
Yeah.
you ever do that? Do you ever, you know, you be on the track with an artist and, you know, you listening to him and say, okay, you nice,
Well,
but
you know, I've been in the studio writing lyrics, and
hmm
you could see people around. Like you could see like people really not even in the vocal booth yet. You can see who's balling up their papers. You can see who's scratching out and crossing out and tearing the sheets off. Like this ain't my shit right here. But it's funny though because you see that and then
hmm
you observe it. It's real funny because you see like people jamming up and and people think it's easy to put on headphones to get in there and
it
then
ain't,
that
is
shit
it?
jam up. Like them words jam on you,
Hmm.
like those cadences don't end right on the right words.
Okay.
You like used to, that should
So,
make you feel like they want to go home and shit, and they looking like, damn, I got to come out, and
okay.
so that's why, like you said, a lot of people need a lot of vocal time, which I
Hmm.
never needed a lot of vocal
So
time
even
making records.
from the beginning.
Nah, not really. I always was a good fast recorder and
Hmm.
write on the spot, or I could write at home. I write on the spot. Like I'll finish my verse in 30 minutes, my whole 3 songs. Like I don't need like 5 days to write my verse and then come into the studio. Like I could write my verse on the spot and it sounds dope as like the person who wrote their lyrics for like 5 days. Like so you got a motherfucker come in the studio, he wrote his shit
Hmm.
took 5 days, and then you like sit on the spot and write and your shit sound hotter than his. So I had developed that anyway. I used to put a clock in the studio and
Hmm.
bet myself like
Okay.
I can finish like this 2 bars within like 20 minutes, or that was a thing for me to challenge myself with the clock. Like
Hmm.
I was always challenging myself with the clock, and that was a big thing to me. Like, can I execute this lyric and it still sound good and all the words pronounced within like
Hmm.
20 minutes on the clock, like 2 verses. Like more than like maybe even 15. Like, and I developed that. So I've been like Tupac for years, having extra artists standing around with blank papers, and I got to come back tomorrow, and that shit been a part of my career for years.
Like the teacher, you turn in the homework, you sitting at your desk and you ain't got nothing on that sheet of paper, but you put your name and room.
Yeah, I've been seeing that shit so many times. Like, that's why the reason I went solo a lot, because different artists and groups I was with, and you know, in combinations of groups, it's just that I was always first. And you know, I have the whole song written, 3 verses, and it's really just me doing one verse, waiting for the 2 artists or somebody else to get on the track. But I would end up writing, you know, the damn song, and I could have said, "Yo, y'all go home. I finished this whole record by myself," which people said Tupac used to do. Like, if you wasn't ready by the time he dropped his lyrics, he go on and finish the song. So you can imagine how many people missed getting on a lot of records with him, because he like, well, I'm finished, man. I got the chorus down, I got the verse, and you motherfuckers still in here like a turtle writing and balling up papers left and right and all that. And, you know, studio time is moving and everything, and you know, that should be sometime back in the days. That shit was what, 300 an hour and all that. Yeah. You got motherfucker turtle right next to you. You like, man, come on, man. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna finish this shit by myself. You know, get on, you know, go get your headphones and pull out the next track. Like, put that shit you wrote to this track to the next track, because you ain't getting on this. I'm done. Like, we out. Engineer getting ready to mix this shit down. I'm gonna lay both of these vocals, and this is my shit right here. So I've been through that shit.
Yeah. So with Ultra, then outside of Ultra, you had
no, it's just when I was working with different groups, when I had groups, you know, certain groups, and
because you was working with the Cinnabites and
well, yeah, anybody, you know, that we had like quadruplets and triples and whatever, you know, we had different projects, you know, collaborating with, you know, 4 dudes on the track or something. I'm first, second, third, fourth, whatever, you know, whatever tracks we had. I'm like, if I'm finished, I'm taking this shit.
So is that why you got so many solo albums in your discography?
Yeah. So, I used to be like, I'm using it. I take this shit. I'm finished. Like, you know, that was always like a thorn in my fucking hand. Like the when we can't, like, the motherfuckers who can't finish a song, like when it's right there, you know, you like, I want to finish it, mix it down,
and get on with the next,
put this shit on, you know, whatever, put this shit out right now tonight or whatever. I want to get it done, or can this one and let's move to the next one. But that used to be the thorn in my fucking hand. Like, yo, we can't finish this bitch. Like, but I never was I never was an untracked finish. You know, a track unfinisher. I always finish songs. Like, and people bug out engineers. They be like, man, you just knocked that shit out real quick. Like, you know, 20 minutes. Like, you know, these motherfuckers today, they write one verse Monday, come back Friday, lay the other half of the other verse, then they come back next month, lay the second verse, you know, all that, kinds of shit.
So just, you know, get in there, knock that shit out, move on to the next.
Yeah.
But seeing this, because, you know, for a lot of the fans, it's the mystery. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they always like, where's the projects at? Where the projects at? You know, and I guess it's frustrating though, when if you could lay down a whole album, but you're waiting on somebody else to finish.
Well, that's why the record companies pulled out a lot of deals, because of the labor of a lot of these groups. Like, it took them a long time to do songs. Like, a lot of niggas partied the money off, you know, with, you know, drinking Hennessy all night and, you know, having girls in the studio and,
you know, party.
More blunts in the air rolling, and the engineer was like, yo, I gave y'all $400,000 and you only got 2 songs.
Right. So that was
you know what I'm saying? So that was like fucked up. That fucked up a lot of stuff for everybody else. So the buffoonery of that, the clown, like you said, the people that made a lot of, you know, all these artists that had those big giant deals fucked it up. Like you said, partying and, you know, the A&R comes from the label and the execs, and you got one verse, and you've been working on that shit for like 5 months. You've been working on that track for 5 months. And that's what it was. They had big record budgets, and those are things that happen.
So, who were the producers that you work with that had that work ethic? Let's knock this out. And how was it working with like a Paul C?
I think Paul C was a definite workhorse. Like, I mean, he makes sure you got your vocals. As soon as you get in the studio, he's programming. The beats is all ready to go. He got the mic set up. He knows, like, the program is ready. He got the records. You getting there, he's looking at you like you saying any word fucked up. He's like on you, like he's like already ready. Like that shit is ready. Like he's in there, like truncating the snares, and I mean that's one of my really most memorable producers to work with. And then as you have another person, say you have an automator, he'll have you write to the tracks, and then he'll go somewhere and go to bed somewhere. But you sitting up writing to the tracks, but you're putting the vocals down, and then you're like rapping to a beat that you like, and then when he mixes it, you hear none of those beats you wrote to.
Was that frustrating?
So that becomes some mysterious shit, and then you got like other rappers, name producers, name them down.
I mean, all right, like Ray West.
Ray West is definitely a person that I, worked with and did some stuff, and he's straight to the point. Get the, and some guys you just click with right away. They got a certain rhythm. You know what I'm saying?
So how did you come across Ray West?
Ray West is like I met Ray through I think AG one time, and I mean he had called me, but it was like it was cool to work with him because he got like different kinds of sounds. What I like about Ray, he has good beats that were different as far as working on them. Different kinds of loops that are interesting. Not just a typical loop. It'd be something different. Something totally like soulful, and it's not like some space sounding record or some shit.
Okay. So what about Cutmaster Kurt?
Kurt is like mysterious. The most I put him in automating as far as the weirdness, and working with Kurt is like, I think when Kurt done Sex Style, he was more hungrier, but but then Kurt gets kind of different in the studio. He leaves you sit down right to the track while he gonna make an egg or something, and then you like. I think his attention span sometimes, like you doing vocals, he walks away from the mic. Like you ever you doing your vocals and you trying to get the run in, and you really don't get the vocals in, like, cause you like, Kurt, you out there, and Kurt is in the kitchen cooking an egg or some shit.
Right.
So you like, you in the bathroom rapping with the door closed with the headphones, but you thinking you spitting your best shit, and then come to find out he's nowhere near the console. He's in the kitchen making like some biscuits or some shit. And I looked at that as being like some different kind of shit, like unprofessional. But
okay.
With those kind of people, it's funny. Like I think him and Automator are the most strangest because the ideas that I gave them were good ideas to make them feel like they can get up to a certain level. They were more like producers. I kind of blew up basically from me working with them. So the respect sometimes changes with them. Sometimes they're the type of guys think you're supposed to lay vocals and they don't pay you, or you got to get paid later. Or if they need a verse or 16 on general, they feel like they you owe them a verse more than them. They giving you the money for the verse that you did for them, because I'm like Diana Ross doing their fucking vocals. So I'm like, why do you don't pay me for my vocals? The point is not, it's not the point of the splits of a record, but if it's things you need, like you got another artist you working with, you do verses with them, and you're supposed to be paid like you Johnny Guitar Watson or you Stephanie Mills or whatever.
Right.
But my point is that, level of respect. Yeah. But my point is that they try to use more like they are the people that made you. It's not that way, motherfucker. I made you. It's like Mr. Potato Head. I made you, motherfucker. You didn't make me, because I come from a time where I made producers. Producers got known from working with me. Like Automator's a person that got known from working with me.
Exactly, because
Kurt got known from working with me.
That's how I know.
Kurt got known from working with me, but sometimes they forget. They feel like they were Timberland, producing artists or
Magoo.
something. Like they
had Magoo.
Yeah. They were. I'm Magoo, and they fucking Timberland. So they try to twist that stuff back around like to their favor. I'd be like, nah, and then they try to fool the public like that too. But it's not like that, motherfucker. You're not Timberland.
Right.
You're not Timberland. So like, and then I built you as a producer. I made you a producer. Then you got guys now that I work with, like, when I did with Psycho Les,
right.
And then I worked with Lex. Those are more producers that came down the middle. You sharing like talent with talent, like you.
Right.
It's like you Michael Jackson with Teddy Riley, something like that. But you're not Teddy Riley. You're not Teddy Riley working with Michael. You're not going to fucking act like you made Michael Jackson. So sometimes those artists
they forget
more that you made them more. And then they get a bunch of fucking people around them that probably put like gas in their head and say, well, you made Keith. Did you make Keith? Like, nah, you better check, do your do your checkup, and like you didn't make me. Like, I made you. Like, nobody knew you.
Right.
And
we checking for Keith.
They come. What happens with those kind of guys? What they do is they come back to you when they like are falling off. They want to get you on a track to like certify or stamp you as you working with them, or you still been in communication with them, which you probably haven't spoke to them in years, but they want to like keep a maintained image to the public, like, oh, you still work with him, you still good. Yeah, I still get verses from him. I do stuff, and I don't got to pay him for his music and his verses because we still cool like that. Nah, I'd be more serious, like, you got artists for me to get on or something with, we let's do business, but don't get, people like to pay the train conductor, they like to pay the pilot, the airline, they like to pay the sanitation, but for some reason motherfuckers start thinking you just cool. You just so cool to get on tracks. It ain't about being cool, and and you can't talk like subsidiary trades, like, yo, I got some extra jackets in the backyard. If you need a jacket, I give you send you some stuff. And I got pecans my mother sent me from the old tree, and apples and stuff if you need apples. And that, it ain't about that. It's about business. Like so.
What about
you get a
Tell Rihanna and Rita I'm calling shots like Mike Kaiser. The boy got 1,000 synthesizers with different drivers. The gas me, other people turn chicken patty. Your girl call me young daddy, your wife take off a maxi. I guess she think I'm freak nasty. DuPont let him know the registry. My cologne mixed with her chemistry. She tasted like tender beef. Mink oil on the dashboard. All your music I fast forward, including the chorus. Your girl chew me like orbits. The spit from the spitter. Your girl get out the foreign in the chinchilla. Do it for the skinny leg figures. Feed you till your legs get bigger. Throw nuts to the quitters. The father she roll the swishers. The pit stop and Chevron. They all wet in the hair salon. Give out G-strings. Your pop sensation wanna try on. Serve them wings with VIP. Let them get they fly on. Your stripper working white thongs. Look how she go down on James Bond. 69 yo Amazon.
worked with Lex
Right.
on Saks Fifth Avenue, which was a great experience.
So
And
how was that? Because
he got good beats.
we didn't, this is a name out of the blue. Like you done, like before we heard Automator and Cutmaster, Lex is like another name that you came across, right? How did you come across Lex?
Well, I met these guys with Volunteer Media, and they introduced me, and I was always looking online for beats because there's a million producers out there that got good beats. So I wanted to exercise my flexibility and start getting on new tracks, because sometimes when you work with those producers and stuff, like, you get stuck in working with the same producers, you can get stuck. So new music and new beats is like an inspiration. They make you write new shit. They make you say things. They make you get better ideas. Sometimes, when you rap on tracks from the past, sometimes they don't give you ideas and they don't make you run off new words, new patterns. You can come with new subjects and new choruses, and it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like moving into a new house. Like when you get with another producer, it's like, he got a whole different pack of tracks and different things, and it's like, it's like beats to me. I always say, everybody laughs, it's like cars, like you're getting to drive the Ferraris, you're getting ready to drive some of the Lambos and the McLarens and the Mercedes Porsches. So beats, you don't want to stay stagnant, and you might not want to drive old Chevrolets around no more. So you like,
but every now and
beat. Yeah, every beats start to change and get sporty and different and better and European and all kinds of shit.
And sometimes you pull that old classic out the garage on a Sunday and drive down the highway.
Yeah. Like now, like, what's funny though? It's like I've exercised myself to get on other new stuff and rap on the trap shit and all kinds of different stuff. But sometimes, like, people want you to rap on a big ass Cadillac all the time. You don't want to do that shit. You don't want to even do it because you didn't got so used to the sports cars that it's fly. Like you in the fly sports cars. Your voice is on the sports cars. So it's a good thing for me. Like I feel good. Like sometimes those beats can make you handicapped too, because if you drive a big old car a lot and that shit you start to feel like an old ass. You start to feel like an old ass man.
In a horse and buggy.
Yeah. So they be like, "Who's that old daddy in the Cadillac?" I like to stay like, I keep my flows replenished and brand new and stuff. So I think beats is important, like you said, beats and picking beats and all that shit is sometimes a craft, and but it keeps me motivated.
Soft lotion, Kenya Moore, my soft lotion paw. Soft lotion, Kenya Moore, my soft lotion paw. Soft lotion, Kenya Moore, my soft lotion paw. Soft lotion. Spend $1 million on you, girl. Put you in Vanderpel pearls. Donna carrying your bags. Maserati, you up, make you ride in the Jag. Flood you with diamonds from L'Oreal, exquisite baths and A-star hotels. I won't hurt you. Your man mad cause he conserved in commercial. Kate Spade, the only purse for you. Your lingerie, La Perla, Giorgio Armani pajamas when I'm in bed next to you. I got rappers' moms cooking in Daisy Dukes. The rape's so orange, they call me orange juice. The twin sisters in that Urban magazine. I have breakfast for two. The mink spotted like a baby tongue with scarlet fever. Vegas penthouse. Your sister 9 months in Caesar's palace. I ain't talking about the salad. Your girl underwear disappear like magic. Trim your bra with Prada fabric. Atlanta and California, my helicopter fly over the city. The private air jet pick you up if you pretty. $2 million for a plate. Your neck smell like escape. Once you taste the cream, no more Waffle House and Denny's. The excursion to France. I just gotta show 'em I can wear skinny Versace pants. Show you new faces in a few places where the Europeans dance. Some like Basquiat. My suede moccasins pastel like my jock strap in Miami. Your woman right after she tore with no panties. I guess I'm Lynn Insanity. Put her in a group like Vanity. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. It's like R. Kelly making a public announcement when the left and right basketball start bouncing. Rappers don't understand me and you in Saks Fifth. You exposing boobies, they got Down syndrome. Left your heart racing. Come get the Chanel bag, rub all on your back. Even women write me wet letters after they've been incarcerated. I'm a boss cologne wearer, be careful, don't get white sauce on your black leggings. Deep inside, can you spread like Megan? Open aces, while your body's still shaking. Spray Gavinci on you, cross your heart. Sign autographs for your daughter in Walmart. After Cartier, take my watch apart. The spider look like a spider. Your woman caught in the web with the doors ajar. Brown bunnies, I fly up on Delta. You say you still messing with guys that still rock Aqua Velva. Trapped in a house with a madman. You might need a bomb shelter. Mini regional fizzing like outdated Alka-Seltzer. Stand behind you, you sport lace from Tiffany and Company. Making hamburger helper. Watch you reenact Holly and Monster Ball. We can shop in lobster stores. Going bird off with good men. I see the black thong through your tight white pants. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion. Kenya Moore, my soft lotion porn. Soft lotion.
Like everything, you know, shoes and
Right.
the latest fashion, you know,
Right.
rap changed with everything. Like
Yeah.
what's the latest hat? You know, you can't go out there wearing some, you know, some shit from the 80s and, you know,
Yeah.
baggy shit, Timberlands,
Right.
and big ass
Because now this
fucking
fashion
pair of
done-
pants hanging out. You know, it's just, you know, and a lot of these guys probably didn't make that transition to that new time. Like, so musically also that played a big part in it. Musically, so it's hard. Like you don't know the latest sound out, and you don't know the latest beats, and you know, it's like rehabilitation.
Right. So so when you writing, what is it that you need to get you into that mood? What sets Kool Keith into that writing mood, that mood where it's like, I'm gonna do this project?
New fresh thing, new beats, new sound. Like new beats make you write new things, like say new shit that you never thought of saying.
I mean,
like,
do you
no,
go
new,
out?
new beats? Like that's one thing. A lot of those guys, you know, they might meet you and say, I got the classic thing I could do for you if I ever did an album for you. I'm gonna take you back and we could do ego tripping over, and I want to flip it, and I want to turn it upside down, and I want to make it. I want to, you know, chop it up where I can make it, and I'm gonna flip it, and we gonna reflip it, and you know. But that's not the case. That shit gonna make you write some old shit. Like it's not gonna make you write something new, as somebody gave you some shit you never heard before in your life. So like Jay-Z always said, you wanna hear my old rhymes, listen to my old shit, you know?
Right.
You know, that was the thing to say. So, you know, I always say respect, like, what people don't do no more is, like, respect the artist now that he's doing something. Respect the artist that he's living
doing now.
and he's still doing. Don't, like, you know, don't badger an artist like from the past and be like, because he don't make the past shit.
So is that frustrating? Because I said this.
Yeah, like don't badger him because he make the past shit. You know how some of these people in the streets and critics are. He'll be in magazines. Well, it's compared. It won't never be. He's not doing critical beatdown no more. I mean, but that's like the person. Really, it's just one person, and that's like the person that's flagging your records that you make now. It's those same people from those. It's those guys that
Right.
stuck and be like, you know what, thumbs down. It's not critical beat down. You know?
Right. And I mean,
you know, but I'm like, you like, it's like you not, it's like you haven't evolved. You know, you sitting home with an afro in the room, and you got a box sitting down. You got all your tapes from the '90s, and you're looking at everybody. Like you got all your tapes from the
right.
'80s, and you know, all your cassettes are lined up on your fucking table. You know, you ain't got no, you know, women pictures hanging up in your room. You got like a bunch of guys hanging up, you know.
So do
You
you?
might have a naked poster hanging up in the room and of a man, but your testosterone ain't changed because, you know, when I was young, I listened to like all kinds of shit. I listened to, you know, they had all the rap shit, but I listened to, you know, I bought Silk and Ideal and
Really?
H-Town,
Okay.
and I'm just saying that I bought shit too. Like I'm
Because-
Jagged Edge. I'm human. I bought fucking.
Right.
You know,
but see,
don't you guys want some?
I think-
you know,
I think they.
R&B. Don't y'all want some like smooth shit? Like I bought all that shit.
But I think what happened, Keith. I think what happened is that they get it misconstrued.
I think they were just jacking off in the room.
Right. But
To
I
just
said,
male shit. Like I'm gonna jack off to all this male shit and get my
you know,
mail.
he said this. He
I'm gonna
said
get my
that.
mail on, and I'm gonna turn into like, you know, I see them dudes is like all that stuff is they just probably like they testosterone levels is not like won't give in, like they ain't got no girls. They just constantly, you know, they just male orientated to be like, you know, I'm gonna buy all male albums, and I don't even want to hear the bitches rap. I'm just a mailed out motherfucker. Like I'm just mailed out, and it's, you know,
Right.
you go through those times too. You go through those times where you just can't get over it. You can't get over it, and then what happens is they can't adjust to what you're doing new, and then they get mad when you do something new. But I didn't make music for you to get mad. I made the music for you to say, oh, he's grown, he changed, you know, like, you know, he's grown and he's matured into a sound of something else. He switched up, you know, grow with the artist. Like, you know, like Menudo. People grew from Menudo to be all them niggas. I guess what Ricky Martin, all them niggas was with Menudo. They grew. So you don't. Like, you know, Michael Jackson was with the Jackson 5.
And
like
he
they
grew
forgot,
up and
like like Elder Barge was with the Barge, the family.
Right.
Everybody break off. They could what's his name? Timberlake was with what? The fucking the Boys and the Men. What they Boys of the Hood?
Boys to Men.
Not Boys to Men. Justin Timberlake.
New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, everybody. But these motherfuckers, you know, you got a lot of these people that are handicapped. So
but do you think
have a
do you think that they misheard your lyric when you said I would rather stay in New York and not Hollywood? You know,
say that one.
When you said I would rather stay in New York and not Hollywood, do you think they misheard that? You know, because you know,
I mean, I think rap is where you can be and you want to be. Like
like you weren't supposed to. Like you wasn't like Kool Keith was supposed to stay in New York in the hood. He wasn't supposed to branch out to go to Hollywood and palm trees.
Right.
He ain't supposed to go to Europe.
I made the hardest record. You know, Sex Style was like one of my hardest albums. Like Sex Style was hard because I was in California and I opened up and changed. I think New York was more like still like, you know, Timberland boots and like I made, you know, I made hard feminine music. I made like hard feminine music.
How did the women react to that?
Like, the women?
Yeah, how did women react to Sex Styles?
I mean, every girl had Sex Style album. I was signing covers for white girls, man. They all had that album. Like, I mean, I used to sign covers for girls, and it was crazy. But I'm just saying, I didn't never have a lot of chicks walk up to me with Critical Beatdown, but it was a guy album. It was male orientated. So I think New York has a male orientation where it was basically a males club that they didn't want the girls in. I think New York wanted to be at first all male rap. They didn't want women involved.
Because even
it's like when you open a clubhouse and you
Uh-huh.
said, "No, I don't want no girls in this club."
Right.
And it was like that. But you know, I grew up in a diverse mind. You know, I bought Jodeci's album, and
Right.
you know, I bought Jagged Edge, and like you said, Silk, and all these motherfuckers. I had, you know, 112 and all that
Okay.
shit. I had a variety, so my music was, when I grew up, I listened to Slave, like they made Slide and all that. You know, I had like,
Right.
you know, motherfuckers made Watching You and stuff like that. I didn't grow up as a, you know, I didn't
It
grow
was
up
more
to be
diverse.
like, I didn't grow up to be a male and like, you know, we got to be the male. It's just rap is a male. We're going to keep it male, and
Because even the
no woman
females
allowed
came
on
out
the door and all that. Huh?
Because even the females came out and was like taking a male posturing. The female
Yeah,
MCs
or
that
yeah, the
came
guys
out,
was like the girls were trying to be like the guys
the
and wear
guys, you
boots and
know,
stuff.
right,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
being
But
as hard
now,
as the guys.
like you said, now feminine rap. You know, you could come out and rap feminine. Now a woman could come out and rap with high heels on and talk about red bottoms and eat a
Yeah,
pussy.
right.
But it's still hardcore. It's still
Yeah,
hard. But it wasn't like before. Like you said, it was girls having their hats cocked to the side
right,
and they had Timberland boots
boots on,
on
the
and
overalls,
all
and
that. But like you
Carhartt.
said, they were Carhartt. They wanted rap to be like that kind of woman, but rap has flipped the script, and now you got women getting out with a pocketbook talking about lick my ass
Right,
and all that. So
you know, on the thong and showing the crotch and
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and
So
more
it
feminine,
changed. So
feminine.
yeah, it's feminine, but still gross. I mean, it's still they stayed gross shit. You know,
Right.
I bury your, you know, I bury your, you know, I bury your face in my pussy, nigga. But they just talking with high heel shoes on, you know.
Right.
So, but I'm just saying, before they had it like you gotta be like a man, you gotta look like a man as a woman,
Right.
like you gotta have a hat turned up like a nigga and
Right,
all
'cause
that.
you had
But you don't have to.
You had boss.
You didn't have to if
outfit
you don't
and-
want to. But
Right.
now I'm saying the new kids now, they not really. You could be a woman and still rap hard as fuck. Like
Right.
you know, you still have a pocketbook. But I'm just saying, New York had unimaginary rules. Basically, we had unimaginary rules that don't exist. So people feel like you had to go by a protocol to keep rap the same way. There's no rules to rap. I broke every rule. There's no
Right.
rules to rap. There's not a
Because
rule like.
everybody wanted you to still be that space rapper, right? You know.
Yeah, well, one thing, I was never space when I first started rapping.
Right.
I made space really.
Mhm.
I made space as a part sometimes. Like I rapped in a space way. I might have said, you know, I come down to earth and get my dick sucked like Captain Kirk. But I still put it in a perspective that it was street. But
Right.
they took it more like I really lived Captain Kirk life. Like I'm really in the USS Enterprise riding over the Bronx and you know, looking down at, like you said, looking down at the streets from the USS Enterprise with, you know, Captain Kirk and me and Lieutenant Uhura sitting up there looking down at the Bronx from, you know, the fucking USS Enterprise is hovering over, you know, Yankee Stadium or something, or the Grand Concourse, which don't exist. I think the fans out of town and all over forgot that I was writing like as if I was Stan Lee. You know,
More of
it
a
ain't like
Marvel thing.
Yeah, it ain't like you gonna walk down the street and see like Iron Man driving the bus, or you know, he ain't gonna have his, you know, he'll drive a Ferrari, but in his own way, you know, like, you know, and people started to get crazy with that stuff too. Like, well, like you can't make. I made all kinds of records. I made records about girls. I make records about sci-fi. I make records about Doctor Octagon. I did all the things, but it was no one specific plot for me to say that's my demeanor space. But it was just the point. I wrote that way sometimes, but really in the Bronx, I wrote about, you know, shit I've been through in the city. You know, I grew up in the city and urban life, so I'm not going to like claim space. And plus, you know, I guess people got misinterpreted and they wanted to prolong it and keep it going, but it's impossible. Like the X-Men and them got costumes and all kinds of $1 million outfits made, and
Mm-hmm.
to make that shit look real and effects, and
Mm-hmm.
7,000 cameras around and all kinds of post production, and
Right.
you're not gonna put like aluminum foil around my hand and put some jelly beans on it with Elmer's glue and say like I'm some hero. People want to do that.
Right.
They want to do some low production kind of
Right.
shit, and that shit ain't matching what Stan Lee doing. So I told people, I said, being those kind of characters is cool, but if you ain't got money, if you're not DC or Marvel,
Right.
you shouldn't talk to me at all. Like
So
I'll wait for DC to do some Kool Keith shit, and they can have the space capsule come down, and you hop in a Chevrolet, and the shit got like lights on it, like Knight Rider and all that. That shit look cool and real, But
so you
you're not
down
gonna.
so you down to work
Yeah.
with Marvel and
DC and Marvel, yeah, of course,
okay.
yeah. Like you said, it's all act. Ain't nothing wrong with acting, FX, all that shit. Motherfuckers could put me with, they could put a Cyclops eyeball in the middle of my forehead, but the shit looks professional. But you ain't gonna take one with Scotch tape in my head, like, you know what I'm saying?
And Vivitar camera.
Yeah, and Louis, and have like some, gloves, taped up around my arms with duct tape, and putting, you gonna glue raisins around the side so it look like computer panels and all that shit, and you gonna crazy glue like little fucking, jelly beans and Mike and Ike's on my arm and all that shit to make it look like it's little computer buttons, and you got motherfuckers out here with them fantasies to do that. So my thing is just to tell people, like, get over it. Like, if you ain't DC and Marvel, because, people want to always meet you and, I got the greatest idea for you, yo. You got those kind of people that love you for that. But the point is, like, Iron Man is in fucking California, man.
Right.
You don't see Iron Man in like the House of Pancakes like Iron Man. You don't see him in like, you don't see like the X-Men walking through fucking, the mall. Like, you don't see the Avengers sitting down in Mr. Child's. Like, I'm like, you going too far with your fantasy.
Right. And so their fantasy is to live out their fantasy through you. But without putting the budget,
the real money, like the real money, like. So what I do is stick to what I do. Like, I do a real video that's in reality time, or I do like music and stuff in time, but like you said, that stuff is like basically a soundtrack for something. That's for, like you said, that's for Doctor Octopus with 8 legs, and it's a production, and he jumping off buildings, and they got effects, and Marvel done paid money for like mastering the sound effects, and when the rhino hit the ground, you hear the sound and all that. But you can't do that in no video from your computer, which is, you get a lot of these guys who try to make that shit at home, which is called like homemade. You can't play around with some homemade shit, because people will laugh at that shit. Like, those people were like, you go and sit in a meeting with Marvel and be like, yeah, who was those guys that tried to sew jelly beans on your arm? That was funny, but we're gonna do the real big shit over here. But that was funny. They had the jelly beans. We liked it. Me and Sam was watching it, and they grew. They put some aluminum foil around your forehead. That was cool. Like, they laughing like this shit is,
like,
they laughing at you and with you, huh?
They be like, no, we got these 3D printers working, and we're gonna print this out on these 3D printers that we done spent millions of dollars on. And we gonna get the
like them
colors
niggas
right.
got, them niggas are sitting there, they doing like your makeup for like 5 hours, having you coming out looking like some other shit. They not like, we're gonna, my wife made some cookies. My wife baked these cookies to go around your neck to make it look like, we're gonna bake these cookies and put these chocolate chips around your neck where they're gonna look like, there's some kind of like space kind of, some space ranger shit that we made at home for your neck. So what happens is, like, they start thinking shit like that, and they start coming with homemade like products and stuff. And I painted these shoes with my spray paint, and we made them silver so we can. And my wife put more jelly beans around the sides. So you can't play around with that shit.
No, and that's the thing is that in this day and age, though, I guess the technology has left people feeling that the competition level,
it's too much competition. It's like you will be playing yourself. Yeah, you'll be playing yourself. Like it's like they like that. They have a lot of ideas like that. It's like if I fucking made a homemade costume,
Mm-hmm.
are you really coming out to the box office? If I said I'm doing a pre-show somewhere, like down at an auditorium somewhere, you ain't gonna pay to see that. You gonna get in the line to see the Avengers with the real fucking effects and all the shit on their arms. So those guys could suck my dick out there. I mean, they can suck a cock bigger than ever.
The eighth grade
grade play. They want to see an 8th grade play. Like I made aluminum foil wings, and I put like Reynolds wrap around. I put Reynolds wrap around my kneecaps
and
all that kind of shit. And we sewed the wings on my back. Like my grandmother sewed the wings on my back. And like you said, the kids put on the like little they showed their little buttons and shit, and they put their little buttons on it. The kindergarten kids, and you know what I'm saying, the kindergarten kids put the buttons on it. So yeah. I'm not going to do that. That's why I've been trying to tell people for years. Like if you're not DC or Marvel, do not like criticize me on space and all that shit, because them be the same motherfuckers that go see the Avengers and go pay for like the Last Generation Star Trek and all that shit.
And they 8,000 times.
8,000 times, and they want to talk to you about a record or something. Like like they want to be the first one. Like this is not what we think. Like that. That's what I'm saying. Like
your
you got a lot
ain't
of
right on there.
Yeah, like your science ain't right, but you just came from seeing the fucking, you just came from seeing the Avengers and the
and they turbo drives and
yeah, them niggas and yeah, you just came from seeing like fucking Darth Vader with a sword that light up the whole fucking planet, and you fucking telling me about a record. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So so the lines with these critics now,
yeah.
It's been like, with the social media now, like if
yeah.
They had like they almost got a direct access to you now with they bullshit in a sense.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of people that you can develop like a fan base of weirdos, which is not good. Like you can have a fan base of weirdos that's not good either. Like so, it's like like. If you're not generating nothing, like you said, you have to still support something. Like, if I make aluminum foil legs, are you gonna buy them? Like you go buy fucking Captain America shirts and all that shit. Are you gonna buy the Incredible Hulk T-shirts and all that shit? Are you gonna do that? So like, what I'm saying? It's like
it's hard though, right?
So you kind of feel like, you just wasting time. You wasting my time. Like, that's why I was saying the only pure fans are going to enjoy you in your reality.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then you have some like that might be like, I'm waiting for him to come back out into some fantasy world or sci-fi. But you like, that's when DC or Marvel, like, leave that to that.
Right. So so they should be, champion Marvel or DC. Y'all need to put Kool Keith in this movie. He'll be perfect for this character, this villain.
Yeah.
Or the mad scientist. Y'all want to see me as a mad scientist? Y'all gonna tell y'all gonna tell DC to make me a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Tell Marvel to put me in Spider-Man or Doctor Octopus.
Yeah. Like you saying, it's more you can wait in line and get your popcorn with your family, and you seeing a real costume and buttons and phasers and lasers coming out my shoes and all all the shit you want to see, you can see, but you're not gonna play around. We're not gonna play around with this. Like we're not gonna like
to the
you
dollar
said.
store.
We ain't gonna go to the dollar
costume.
store. Yeah, get a Batman costume at the dollar store and play around with this shit. Like like they want to play around with something like that, but. You want to laugh about some shit like you said, motherfucker made you some socks out of Reynolds wrap or something, but then like you ready to go see like Spider-Man when he drop next week or something, like, yo, I can't wait to get the tickets. I can't wait to get the tickets to see Spider-Man, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then after all that shit is over, he's chilling on like TV shows, he on Jimmy Fallon and all that shit, and
wearing some Reeboks,
hopping back outside in his Porsche, driving up to his mansion, and you don't think the X-Men is like doing some human shit, taking a bad bitch to Mr. Childs and every fucking thing, like the same nigga you watch behind the mask, you fucking shaking his hand at an expensive restaurant, like, oh, I like what you did, man, when you played Tony Stark, whatever, you know what I'm saying, so. That's the shit that I'm talking about. Like, they lost in the mind with that stuff.
So, so in reality, it's better just to, I'm gonna do these reality videos of me doing my regular shit.
Yeah, like doing my regular shit. Like you said, because we not going it's better because you're not extending yourself and like you said, you're not putting pressure on yourself. You being yourself, like you just being yourself. It's what the fans might have an idea of you reaching those levels, which we had kind of destroyed it because we tried I tried with Automator to, we had the band and Octagon to get together and they came back out. We did big shows selling packing all types of theaters and everything and all kinds of festivals. But like you said, some people throw the whole operation in the garbage because they want to rule everything, like which was Automator was the point of killing the Octagon dynasty by doing stuff and listening to other people, bringing other people around, and not keeping the original members around in the cast, and not putting Menelik back on, and keeping the original cast and bringing brand new people you never saw in your life on deck and all that. So and then
the yes men or the people who
the yes men, and then like all the people around the agents and everybody came involved and all the extra the extra curriculum of everybody with a fucking menu to put in the pot. So what happened was he destroyed that particular character of what I built up, that whole character, I built up and blew thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, just fucking off millions of dollars because of an ego, huh?
You were the character.
Well, the funny thing is that I am the character and I own every fucking thing. Only thing I don't own, I own Doctor Octagon as far as writing credits, creativeness, idea album titles, chorus titles written by. I wrote all them songs.
What I'm getting at is that no other artist could have been Doctor Octagon.
No, not at all.
You understand what I'm saying? You couldn't have seen Kane as Doctor Octagon.
Yeah.
You can't see the baby as Doctor Octagon.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Only Kool Keith could be brought there.
Well, what he tried to do is branch off and do like projects that were near that or something kind of close to it and stuff like that. But he was saying, well, I'm not going to do Octagon. I made it through Octagon to be big, but then I'm going to try to use other projects to run to make it be almost near what
You
I
know,
really was supposed to be doing with
yeah,
Keith. So he might start a group tomorrow called the Malcatrons or
or
anything. But the point
the
is that he's, huh?
evil surgeons.
Or any kind of group.
Yeah,
Like he'll do
right.
something just to stay close in the vein so he can get like whatever the consumers to stay close
Yeah,
to
but I mean,
what he made it by. That's what I'm saying.
but
So you
without your
know,
element, I'm just
even
being
automated will run to the opportunity and just say yo. But my point is
and
that
bring it to this
instead
person.
of sitting down at the table, which was too, he didn't want to sit down at the table. He tried to get like more like management in between me and him, like something I built and I put him on to it. He tried to get management in between me and him,
That's
which
whack
was
as hell.
bad. Yeah, so and which he blew everything. He blew like you said, comics, bigger
That would have probably
movies,
that would
all kinds of shit. Like so he
that
was
could have
so
led to
stuck in
Marvel
the
or DC.
yeah, he's he was so stuck into himself as a producer, and then like Cubit is more a neutral person himself, but
Mm-hmm.
he's just in the middle. Like he don't see it. He's just more like Cubit is like more of a cool person. He's just more
Right.
like
Hey,
I'm a scratch. I ain't gonna say too much
I'm
about
ready
it,
to
but
work. I'm ready to
he,
work.
even in his mind, he knows it's fucked up, but
He
it's
just ready
just
to
that
work.
he just don't want the problems about it. But he's just a neutral guy in the middle about
And,
it all. But
and he loves the
I'm just
culture.
telling you that one person sunk the ship. That was
And
like one person sunk $1 billion ship.
that's
So
fucked up.
the thing is that. And you work hard to build that stuff up. You build that stuff up, and they
Because
throw it down by like extra people involved, and he should have really kept Tony Isabella around. That was the original manager. Me, Cubit,
okay,
and him, and Tony and
that would
Isabella
have
would have been
just
like
blew
been the
up.
biggest that. But then with him with extras, he had extra people
Like,
and
hey,
extra
come on
curriculum.
over, join
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So he was like wanted to make those guys, I guess, feel like he created the group, which he didn't do nothing of creating no group. But the point is that he blew billions of dollars in, like you said,
Yeah, that's
marketing and stuff like that. So
yeah. Because
I never seen nobody like that in my life. And
just straight sunk his own ship
yeah, sunk his own ship, and then it's the same. It was
and
just the
take
same,
everybody
and
down with him.
yeah, and me, I was all about everybody back on deck. Menelik, Cubit,
So
Tony,
Menelik,
and me, and the original group in the album and everybody. But
right?
I
And
was never for that, and it made me look like I was bad, and I was trying to cut people off left and right. I didn't do no such a thing. So that's what I'm saying. And then, like you said, when you start
man,
building, when you got people that destroy dynasties like that, that's bad. Like so, I
because
mean.
think about it, Keith. You could have took that to the opera houses.
Well, we had
I'm
big
just
shows.
saying. I'm just
No, I'm
saying.
saying we had big shows set up everywhere, Europe,
Mm-hmm.
all kinds of places,
Be-
Brazil, everywhere. Just great venues and
and
big
people was
payment
loving
days
that.
and
People,
constant. But you know what? He let a lot of people get in his ear, and people that I never even talked to. I mean, he even had he went as to follow. I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but I
that's cool.
mean,
But I mean,
I don't owe nobody shit. So
exactly.
my thing was like, I don't owe nobody a pecan. So my thing was like, you destroy the dynasty, you destroy the dynasty, and then that's cool. But it wasn't a smart move on your behalf because it was a lot of things to be made and done with that project.
Mm-hmm.
You could have spent that off into motion pictures and everything. So that's when I really noticed, like, not to say Cubit, he's just in the middle and maybe, he's in his own world and stuff. But that's when I noticed that, that the West,
Mm-hmm.
like, it was just people out in San Francisco not thinking properly.
So is
And
that
New York was ahead of time, and it was just a few people out in the West that wasn't thinking. Like something about when you live in certain cities, it make you laid back, and you know, you riding, looking at the rice-a-roni truck every day,
And
going up the fucking mountains, rice-a-roni.
No
and
importance.
no importance. So your mind gets fucked up, and you don't have like a vision.
No
so
urgency.
I think you know what happened? He didn't even know the project was gonna blow up himself. So it was a surprise.
But it blew up.
And it was a surprise if it went dead again, because he just never thought it would blow up. The shit blew up. The shit blew up so fast in his face that he didn't understand it. That was the point. Automator never understood the shit blew up in his face. The project was big that I thought, like, you know, all my ideas blew up. Like Cutmaster Curtain was all still trying to go off the ideas I had. You know, every idea I had was shot down, like the funky ass records and the shirts and the t-shirts. Yeah, all that shit is my shit. The logo, the t-shirts. Nah, they rolled to it because I fought for it. Every cover, even Dr. Doom with the fucking hamburger, the Black Elvis. I mean, anything. The wig, the black. Every idea you see, logo, shirt, logo, anything you see is my idea. It's all my shit. Everything, any idea you look at is mine. So I'm about like anything. If you see people selling shit, you buying it. You're buying it from a fraud anyway. Those ideas, anything is mine. So, you know, I'm about to press up a lot of things and a lot of merchandise and stuff that's mine. Anything that you see is mine, like the logos and all that shit is my stuff. That's mine. I came up with those ideas from like magazines and silhouettes. I made these ideas, like, you know, I pulled it up and tell them go press this and put it on shirts. And
but you brought other people into this.
Stickers, huh?
But you brought other people into this.
I mean, I wasn't mind. I didn't mind sharing stuff and ideas, but I'm just saying all these ideas of mine that was shot down. Like a lot of ideas, they were more like, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do this. We ain't gonna do that. I came with an idea. People like it. They all ran with the ideas later. Like, and then that's when the greed came in. So all those things that you see and like and people collect and stuff, that's all my shit. All that shit is my stuff. So, and then what happens is, you know, when you get with people, their people try to manipulate your people and try to make it look like they started something or they own that and all that. They don't own shit. They don't own a goddamn thing. They don't own nothing. Writers, nothing they written. You know, they might get on it because of production and stuff like that, but they don't own stuff. They'll try to flip it like they did this and that. They didn't pick up a pen for me. They didn't pick up a pencil. They didn't pick up a paper. They didn't write on none of my sheets of paper, nothing. They didn't write shit. You know, they might have mixed it, but they didn't write nothing. They didn't write a damn thing. So my thing is that, you know, I own every fucking thing. Everything. But everything. I mean, what they're doing is really living through a lot of them. They living through me and they living through what I've done. Their whole recognition is life is based on what I've done. Like, oh, you worked with Keith, and they meet people too, and then a lot of people are so. What is the funny shit is they close deals and meet people on my behalf of the way I structured their life. So they'll go get a deal and close something, and people will be like, oh, you know, I got the guys that worked with Keith on my new television show doing the soundtrack. So it's all
Keith.
Yeah, that's the funny shit. And then they manipulate people with you, and especially if you're not strong enough mentally, they can, they'll get a few people with like a power of attorney to make it look like they did all of that shit or they got that shit. And you start mentally being tricked saying, no, we helped him do all this shit. You'll be laughing at all that shit, you know. So I don't be laughing at that shit because, you know, it don't be funny after a while because it's like a joke. So you don't have to do all that. It's just that, you know, physically in your mind, you did everything. So I own all of that shit. Like, at the end of the day, all of my ideas that you see is my ideas, and you know, and it's obvious, you know it yourself. You be like, they wouldn't make up no shit like that. They wouldn't do shit like that. First of all, they were scared to do any idea, all kinds of, when I was in LA, I was making baseball cards. I was making, you saw that shit. I was making little baseball cards. I was making little, all kinds of shit, like stickers, all kinds of, you know, logos, all kinds of shit. They was never with it at one time. That, in their mind, they was like, that shit is crazy. What are you doing? We're not going to do that. You think people are going to like that? And I was like, yo, just watch. And to this day, you got people trying to sneakily press up logos and shirts.
Your shit.
Yeah, of my shit. So that all that shit is about to be stopped in about in a few seconds.